Hello, everyone. I'm Elena, Cognos Analytics Administrator. So this is our second Cognos Analytics session. And remember, there's going to be a lot of information. You will need to watch this more than once, all right? So here is the agenda. We're going to talk about dashboards and infographics, how to add visualizations and widgets, etc. We're going to talk about stories, and we're going to talk how you're going to use Cognos Analytics for group work, which is assignment 5, right? And I'll show you some samples in there, right? So we are working with claims and weather data. The data stores the customer information, including the state where the customer lives and the demographics, right? Employed, unemployed, etc. It stores the vehicle information that the customer drives, the type of policy that the person has, type of accident, and we use that to estimate the total claim amount, right? So this is a partial data screenshot. So the high-level steps are, you get familiar with your data, you do data pre-processing, which we did last time, you do data exploration, and findings presentation. We have not done presentation, right? But what we did was, we did that data pre-processing. What it is? Well, first of all, we had to handle missing values, right? We noticed that the records with missing effective due date were missing a lot of other data. So altogether, we just removed the records with missing effective due date. So we defined a filter that removes the rows with missing effective due date, right? Then we created the selectable filter, which allows us to look at the subset of data where personal policy, right, for the small type of vehicle, right? We just did that. We replaced missing values in the income column with the average, right? We did that. All right, how the groups will be determined, the instructor will do it. The instructor will take care. Well, the groups for the last assignment will be done by instructor, all right? And I will do configurations in Cognos accordingly, right? So some columns had missing values. So what we did was, for the numeric columns, we replaced them with the column average. Only thing that I'm adding here is the rounding, right? So I took the average, and the 0 means that I don't want any numbers after the decimal point, right? So that's what it does. It's checking if an income is missing. And I did the same steps for the monthly premium. Then we have a categorical column where it's a claim reason and some values were missing. And there is a video where I showed you how to set the missing values to value other. So if the value is missing, we want to see other, right? So that's just a summary of what was done, right? We can create, there's something called the binning, right? If the column is skewed, I can look at it in terms of the intervals. Like, for example, number of policies, I created the data group. If it's 8 or above, it's going to treat the same category, right? So it's basically, we talked about it last time. We also talked, well, we did not talk about dashboards. We're going to talk about today, but we talked about the data exploration. So if I go back to Cognos, right? If I go back to my content, and we created the data exploration, right? Here. So remember, the data exploration is a set of cards. We cannot control how visualizations appear, right? Like, for example, here, it's just blue. There is no way to set up the background. There is no way to change how the title looks like, right? Then I have no way to select one data point in one visualization and the same data point to be selected in others. I cannot apply the filter to all visualizations together, right? There is no way to organize this as a set of slides, if you will, right? This is more for you to get insights from the data, but this is not something that you're going to present. So this takes us where? To the new topic called dashboards. We create dashboard to present insights. We have attractive layout and our visualizations. All visualizations will have their own appearance properties, right? Then if the visualization on the same tab, if we use the same data source to build them, right? You can select one data point and automatically the same filter will be applied to the rest of the visualizations. Unlike the explorations, you can add widgets. What I mean is that you can add text, you can add links to the video, you can add images, etc. Right? Then you may reuse the visualizations from exploration. So the visualizations that you did for your assignment 3, you may reuse them in assignment 4. Assignment 4 is a continuation of 3. You're going to use the same data set, but you already did a lot of work, right? You did some data pre-processing. You may have done some. You may have done the data exploration. So you're going to reuse some of the findings and add new, right? Then one thing is that in exploration, you cannot do it in a view-only mode. The dashboards can be view mode and can be edit mode when you edit it. Then similar to the exploration workspace, you may create formulas, right? You may create calculation, you may create navigation paths. But remember that if you add calculation in a visualization, in a dashboard, it will be available only for the dashboard. If I create another dashboard or a story, that calculation will be unavailable. So I would have to create it in a data module. If I want my calculation or hierarchy or anything like that be available everywhere where I use the data as a source, I need to create it in a data module, right? So now let's go ahead and create our first dashboard. Well, not my first dashboard, but first dashboard of today. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we need to, well, I'm going to close it. I'm going to go to my data, right? This is my content, right? That's the data. And I have a claims and weather data module. I'm going to click here. What does it do is it opens up the context menu, right? Or action menu. And I'm going to select create dashboard this time, right? So what do I see here? There are two types of dashboards, and I summarized it for you. There is a tab dashboard, and there is an infographic. So what's the difference? Of course, as the name says, tab dashboard contains one or more tabs. Each tab may have a different layout. You may apply the filter to all tabs, or you may apply the filter to the single tab. Then, very important, tab dashboard can be saved as a story. We'll talk about stories tonight too, right? What is infographic? It's just a long page with visualizations, and similar to the very similar to the tab dashboard. Both are interactive. They both have the predefined layout templates. You may change how things appear, such as edit the properties. You may use existing visualizations, or you may create totally new visualizations. Then, of course, both have toggle. You may toggle both have view mode and edit mode. Then you may preview the data that's being visualized in both, right? Remember, in explorations, you can see what data is being visualized. Something like that here is the case. You may use data as a source, right? Data set as a source or data module. I prefer data module because you define your calculations in a data module, which are reused wherever you use the data module as a source, right? So, but for the purpose of this course, we're going to stay with tabbed, right? Because tabbed may be saved as a story. We want something that you can save as a story, right? All right, and there are different templates. So when I go here, and if I select tabbed, right, do you see this? Those are the templates. This is just the free form, and those are the fixed. So the plus side is that these ones, they can resize based on your screen size, right? So that's what's the main plus. Then they consist of panel, and a panel is nothing but a placeholder for visualization. So you're having something called the relative positioning. And the free form, there is no predefined template. Objects just free form, and they don't resize. You may have to scroll, unfortunately, right? It's called absolute positioning, right? So now what you do is, here you need to keep in mind, the more visualizations you have on a page, the longer the page is going to take to load. Well, I prefer 2x2. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to click OK. So what is this? This is our dashboard, right? Right now, at the moment, it's one tab and it does not have anything because I have not done anything yet. But what do I see in here? Again, this is our claims and weather data set. Take a look at this. We created the data group. It's here. Why is it here? Because I created it in data module. But last time I talked about the navigation path. Remember, we created the hierarchy to look at data by locations, but it's not here. Why is it not here? Because I created it in data exploration. Anything that I created in the data exploration won't be here. I had to create in data module, right? So you see this here. And what is this? This is a filter, right? If I did not use the descriptive name at the time, there is no way to tell what this is. I would have to go back to data module to see how this is configured, right? This is a selectable filter. Remember, that's a filter that I could turn on and off at any time, right? It appears in the columns list. So here, it's just the columns and different icon designates different column data type. And of course, you can add calculations, as I mentioned earlier, and you can look at the columns of properties, etc. So see this, for example, income, you have aggregate properties that tells how the data is being summarized. In the data module, I changed that I wanted to be average, right? If I summarize the income by state, perhaps, I want to look at the average. I defined it in the data module, and it's available for me here, right? There we go. So now, what is here? This is an area where you defined filters, and we're gonna do filters also. So here, those are undo, redo. I know that you cannot undo the deletion. However, you can undo some of the latest changes that you made, right? Here, at the moment, the name is a new dashboard, and little asterisk means that the latest changes have not been saved. So what we're going to do now, we're going to save it. I'm going to click on a floppy disk. Then at the moment, I'm going to be saving everything in the my content. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it claims and weather dashboard, right? And weather dashboard, right? Dashboard. And see, this is nice. It has a spell check here. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on save, and it's going to save it in the my content, right? So I saved it. How do I know? I don't see that little asterisk here. The latest change has been saved. So see, I've got my 4 panels here, and right here, I can click on what? On properties. This is properties, right? I can specify just the properties of my page. What does a page have? Page has tabs, right? So I want to change the color of the tab title to red. I can change the highlight indicator to green, right? So if the tab is selected, it's going to show the green line, etc. Then what I could do, I could add another tab. When I add another tab, I have an option to choose the layout. I don't have to stay with the same layout, but I'll just pick. See this? Now tab 2 is selected, etc. Right? So those are the properties of the tab, right? Tab 1, tab 2. I can add my visualizations. How do I add visualizations? Well, there are multiple ways to do that. One way is just to go to visualizations library and I choose the visualizations that I want to add. Perhaps I want to add a pie chart and I just drag and drop, but take a look at this. Do you see this blue arrow? I want to hover over this blue arrow. Then the size of visualization is going to be the size of the panel. There we go. This is a pie chart. But at the moment, I don't see anything. Why? Well, remember, this here I call data slots. If you see the asterisk, it means it's required. So it means that I need to put something, I need to put the column, right? Otherwise, if I don't put anything in here, I'm not going to see anything, right? So in this case, what do I want to do? Perhaps I want to look at the state, right? So I'm going to select the state for the segment and the size. I want it to be the number of customers, right? So I have a customer here. I'm going to drag and drop in a size and it should count the number of customers. Let's take a look at this. If I'm not sure, I'm going to look at the properties, summarize property. It's going to do count distinct, which is what I want. I'm looking right now at the number of customers, not the number of claims, but the number of customers in each state. So as you see here, it displays the pie chart where each slice is a state and the number is the number of customers. However, remember the purpose of the pie chart is to see the percentages of data, right? Not the numbers, but the percentages of data. So we have to do something, right? We can change properties and how this pie chart appears. So first of all, let's close this area. I selected the pie chart and I'm going to click on my properties, right? So what I could do, well, I can change the color if I wanted to. I can change palette. Then, see this, I can go to chart itself. And, well, yes, I want to see the labels, but I also want to see the percentages because that's the whole purpose of the pie chart. It shows the percentage of the whole, right? Then, what I also could do, just for fun, I could make it look like a donut. See? I could do that. Then, what else I could do is, well, there are a lot of things you can play with for the legend, etc. See the show legend, show high, I want to show. In general, in appearance, there should be an option to add the title. But first of all, see this, how you can add fill color. You can add the border color if you like, right? Then you can see, you can say the show title. When you do show title, you get these properties here, general, for the title. And I can type my title here, let's say percentage of customers by state, right? So here it is. And see this, I have this toolbar and I can edit my title here, right? I can edit it in the toolbar or I can also edit it here, right? Right here, text details. And I can specify, like if I want it centered, or here, I can change the size, I can change the font size, I can change the color if I want to, right? I can make it bold, etc. So those are the properties of the pie chart, right? Different properties. So I got that, now I can save it. I know that most of you did all of you did a lot of visualizations last time, and you want to reuse them in your dashboard. How do we do that? Well, first of all, we're gonna go back to the welcome page, right? We need to open the data exploration that we created last time. I opened the data exploration. Next, what I can do is I can find the visualization that I want to reuse. Well, like for example, like this one, right? or any of this. I can find any visualizations that I choose to reuse, but I want to select something that I have with a state perhaps. Well, I'm doing it for a reason, and you'll see the reason later. Oh, and what you do is you just select the visualization, then you can click on that little pin next to visualization. So see that this is by state, and I can do what I can do is I can click here on this little pin, right? This is a little pin, and what it does, it adds visualizations to here. This is like favorites. If you have a visualization that I want to use a lot, that I want to reuse, I can add it to pins, and then I just add the pin. So that was the decision tree, perhaps, that you did in your other, that I did in other demonstration. In your case, it was your other assignment, and I can just go ahead and click on a pin, and it will add these two pins. See, and I created a video on details on how to use pins. So see, those are the pins, right? Pin is nothing but like a favorite, right? Like favorites, something that you use a lot and you want to reuse it, all right? So now I've done that. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna go back to my dashboard. So here it is. And if I want to use something from the pin, I can just go ahead and I can drag and drop, right? I can drag and drop this visualization here. There we go. This shows the locations within the state code, right? It shows a total claim amount by location and a state. So, and if I click on this, it's gonna take me to the focus mode. And what it's doing here, I chose to do the colors. I chose to do the color code by the state. See this? So I'm showing the total claim amount by the area, right, average one. And also it's doing a separate color code per state. If I want to edit this, I can just go ahead and remove this, etc., right? I can remove this column if I want to, right? And etc. Or I can edit. But suppose that I remove the column and I don't like what I just did. What I could do is I can do undo. This is how you undo, right? And for some reason, it is filtered. I would have to unfilter it. Well, at the moment, it says there are no filters. Not sure what's going on. But you just know it, that you can do this, right? You can, if you want to, you can just reuse your pins. That's what I was doing. I reused the pins. Like if you click on this, you have several options here. You can add this to the pin also. You can do like explore, right? If I click on explore, it's just gonna do, you can add it to the new exploration, and you can add this visualization to existing exploration. Then other things that are available here, you can change the visualization. You can make well, this one is if you have multiple visualizations on top of the other, right? You can do send to front, send to back, etc. You can edit the title, and you can see the data that is being visualized. To see this, I click on it. This is the data that I am visualizing here. Number of customers per state, but I'm showing it as percentage. I chose to show percentage, right? So that's that. That's another. So one way to add visualization is as a brand new visualization. Another way is to use a pin. Yet another way, do you remember this little guy from last time? You used the assistant. Just know that it's there for you here as well, right? So I click on this data set. Those are my columns, right? And I can look at the relationships, right? So here, you can look at what influences total claim amount, and I'm trying to get to those visualizations. To see this, those are the visualizations. And I could just go and drag and drop any of these visualizations to my tab, right? Like if I want to do the tab 2, I can take that and I can just drag and drop in here, right? I can just easily drag and drop from this assistant, okay? So with a pin visualization from other exploration, well, you probably, or if you want to go back to make changes, well, you would probably want to go back to original exploration. That's right. You probably want to do the original, or you can make it here. But if you make this change here, it's not going to impact the pin. You copy the pin, right? And that's it. Here, I copied the pin and I can still make changes, right? I would have to pin it back, I believe. But yeah, but you can do it, but you can also, well, what I like to do usually is I like to make a copy and work on a copy. That's me. After I pin it, if I want to do some changes, I would probably want to work on a copy because I don't want to mess up everything else. That's me, you know. But everybody is different. You see what I'm saying? But this is pinned. This is basically takes the bookmark as it was at that point of time, and I just paste it. Okay, I can drag and drop. How do you make that copy? Well, okay. So first of all, I can go back. Well, where do you want to make a copy? Do you want to make a copy in exploration? Then, if I want to make a copy of the exploration, I just go back to exploration. And if I want to make a copy of this visualization, I'll just go in here and, well, there is an option to make a copy. Okay. Oh, here it is. You go in here, you go here, see this is a card. I can just duplicate. I can just get the card. That's it, right? That's it. So I've got this copy and I can work on a copy, right? That's one way. Okay. Undo the change. I don't like what I just did. I undo the change. Copy, right? Close, sorry. Or if I want to, I can make a copy of this. How do I make a copy of this? Well, see this? I click on this here. There should be this, see this is a little pop-up, and I can do this duplicate, right? I can duplicate. I move this here, and I can make changes here, right? So this is what? Vehicle size, average claim amount per vehicle size, something like that. I go here, right? And let's say I want to add something else, such as the policy, right? I can add the policy group here, and let's see. Oh, it's supposed to change the color, but for some reason it did not. Well, okay, for some reason it did not. Well, different visualization. I would have to choose another visualization tab. So instead of this, let's change to column. And see this? I just made change. I changed visualization type, and I want to do the colors by the this is a data group that I created, right? Policy type. See, I just made change. That's it. I made a copy and then I made change, right? You can make a copy of the you can make a copy of the card, right? Of an exploration. Well, if the changes will, well, they should not be. Well, because see this, I made a copy, right? It's a duplication, see? I made change here, right? I took this from the bookmarks. I made a copy. I made this change here. This is not going to change this original. See, this is not going to change the original. Okay, no worries. I'm glad I answered the question. Because see, if I make a duplicate, if I change the duplicate, it's not going to change the original. But this one, I just made it, I just edited from bookmark. I can edit it here. Nobody says I cannot, right? So see this? I edit it. And what is this? This is a data group, right? We have a policy type column, and I created the group so I can use it in visualizations. Why not? Or this is what I could also do. I can drag and drop the column. It's just gonna visualize. It's just gonna show the state. But at the moment, there is really nothing. Why? Because if I expand this, I have to specify, well, I have to specify something else, right? Don't I need to specify the segments or something? Well, right now it just shows the state code. Well, okay, but I did not really do anything. Perhaps what I want to do is I want to do the number of customers, right? So, well, I can drag and drop the number of customers. Let's see what happens. You see, it got adjusted. It's showing the colors are based on number of customers for each state. See, it adjusted it for me, right? What else you could do here? I showed you how to add visualizations, right? So you've got these two tabs. What you could do is you could add widgets such as text, right? So this is the text. You can add text, right? Can we change names? Oh, which tabs? Absolutely. Absolutely. So here it is. I'm going to click here and I'm going to click edit title. And let's say, oops, what happened? I click here and I select edit title and I can say something like claims and weather 2. See, I changed the title. Easy, right? Sure, absolutely. What else you can do is you can duplicate the tab, right? You can make a copy of the tab. Another thing is that you can change the template at some point. If you don't like 2x2, you can always change it, right? Okay. Text, it's just this. You drag and drop the text box. Then you can put something, and I like to put I love data 610 as my text, right? So this is a text, and of course, text has what? Properties. And what properties does text have? Well, I click here. I can change how the text appears, such as fill color, right? So I can just pick the yellow, and I can change the border color. I can change the opacity. Well, not gonna do that, right? You can change the layout, the position, etc. But I thought also there should be a way to change the size. Oh, here it is, the size. But I click here, and I think I like this better. I like to change the size here in the toolbar. I like it like this. There are many options to do this. Show how to, what this? Oh, how to include the model? Sure, we'll do that. We'll do that. Okay. So here, this is just the text, right? Okay. I just showed you how to change the properties of the text, right? Right? See, those are the properties of the text. And I should have done this. Now I'm gonna add another tab here, and I'm gonna do this. And I want to add my decision tree, right? Decision tree from last presentation. So what I have to do is I need to go here. I'm gonna open my claims and weather data exploration. So do I have the decision tree here? Yes, I do. And what I will do with this is I'm gonna pin it, right? So it's processing my pin right now. I pinned it. Next thing what I can do, I'm gonna add this, right? Is this, I'm gonna go back. Notice that I'm not using browser back buttons. I use this here. This shows the files that I have open right now. I'll go back here. Those are the pins. Well, this is a decision tree. I'll just go here. There we go. This is my decision tree. Easy. Should be. But never know. Well, okay. I hope I answered the question. You just pin it and then add the pin. That's the way I would do it. All right? Or you can create another one, new one from scratch if you want to. That's another option. Right? So for the widgets, important thing to mention is that you cannot copy paste the image. You need to specify the link to an image, okay? You need to find the file online, right? Like, for example, I want to have a picture of a dog, right? Well, I have to go here and I need to search my images, and I'm going to search my images. Oh, here it is. This is a dog, right? Then what you need to, it's a JPEG file. You want to right click and you want to do the copy image link. It's usually copy image link. Then I always verify that it's an image link, that it has JPG or PNG extension. Yes, it is. See, I always validate the link before I do this. So now what you do is you go back here, right? You're going to drag and drop this guy right here. And you're going to paste the image URL in here. Oops, you cannot do this. You have to use what? The clipboard. Remember? I open the clipboard, I paste it here. Then I'm going to paste it here. Okay. So this is the image, right? I can add images. I can also add, what else can I add? I can add shapes. I just drag and drop here. And of course, shapes have their own properties, appearance, and I can change the shape color, the border, well, etc. Right? I can change how things appear. So that's a nice thing here, right? That's a nice thing. Then another thing is that you can do, which is the next topic, is a filter. So I'll go back here. Here, those are the columns, right? And suppose that I want to filter everything by state. How do I do it? To filter all tabs, I'm going to take the state column and I'm going to drag and drop in here. Here, I want to select Iowa and Kansas. I want to select two states. I click OK. What happens? All of my visualizations got filtered by the state. Close this. So see this? All. And when I go to this tab, here, I also got visualizations filtered by the state. See, that's the state here. Two states that I specified, right? You can see the filter here, all right? On the other hand, I'm going to go ahead and remove this filter. Now, delete the filter. I can filter only this tab. So to do that, I can just drag and drop the state in here, and I can select Oklahoma and Nebraska in here, right? This page here, this tab is filtered, but this tab is not. It's back to original. See, it's showing me all states. And I don't see the filter here because I put a filter only on the first tab, right? So I'll just go ahead and remove it. See, that's it, right? That's that. Let's go back to the slides to see. I talked about this. I talked about the interface, right? We talked about this interface. We talked about the dashboard properties, the tabs. You can change the color and the selection, right? Multiple ways to add visualizations. We talked about that, right? And you can duplicate the same visualization and edit. I showed you how to do that. I showed you the visualization library. You just drag and drop and select the fields that you want to visualize. This is similar to what you have done, except you're doing it in a dashboard straight, right? This is called visualization in a focus mode, where you see the fields, right? The data slots rather, and you specify fields in the data slots, right? I talked about the pie chart visualization, and I believe I hit all properties of the pie chart. And you're gonna explore other visualizations also, right? So this is a text, and I created detailed video on adding text, adding images, and adding the text, images, and videos. You can add a link to the video, right? So this is adding an image. Remember, we are not doing copy paste. You need to add the image, the URL, the location of an image on the web, and it will display the image. All visualizations on the same tab are linked. So let's go back. Well, first, we need to get into a good habit of closing things, right? Closing everything that you don't need open. So what I did, I prepared a little demonstration for the linked visualization. So I go to my content, and this one is it's a connection demo. So basically, what I was trying to tell you is that the visualizations on the same tab are linked. Well, see here, if I select one state here, Nebraska, this visualization get adjusted for Nebraska. Here, it's also selected the Nebraska, and this visualization got adjusted for Nebraska. Why? Because I use the same data source, right? I use the same data source for this. So the visualizations will be linked. Let's take to the edit mode here. Here, this is linked. See this? I'm gonna see the widget connection, and all these four are connected in the same group, right? I select one data point, and the same data point is selected in all of them. But I can break. Suppose that I want to see Iowa at the top, and I want to see Oklahoma at the bottom. How do I do it? See, if I select Iowa here, automatically the bottom two visualizations will be adjusted for Iowa, but I can break it. So I select this connection here, and I can create new connection, see? Then I can select this here, and I can either create the new one, or I can add this to existing connection. I want to add this to connection 2. So right now, I unclick it, and look what's gonna happen right now. I'm selecting Iowa. This visualization is adjusted for Iowa, but not this one. So I select Oklahoma. So now this is also a nice way to compare, right? I want to compare total claim amount by vehicle class in the state. Does the state make a difference? See this? I'm looking at Iowa, and I'm looking here at Oklahoma. Well, apparently there is a difference for luxury cars, right? You see that little bar is higher. Other cars are non-significant differences, right? Then I can change my state to Nevada. Wow, see this big difference for the luxury cars again, right? So I can see that I can do this comparison. How to split? Okay, I'll show it again, but I need to unsplit in order to show it again. So let me do undo, right? I did undo, right? Did I undo everything? Okay, let's see. Let's gonna look here. See widget connection. No, I did not undo. I need to go back and undo. Because to split, I need to unsplit, right? To show again. Let's see. Well, let's see what's gonna happen. Undo. Okay. Now we're back, right? So I'm gonna click on the link, right? I'm gonna click here. I need to click here. Well, then, oops. Click here. I'm in the edit mode. I click on the links, right? Oops. Hold on. Now I'm confused. Okay, here it is. This is the edit mode. I need to click here. Here it is. Now, what I see, take a look at this. What I need to do is, if I want to break this piece from the group, I need to select this, right? And create new connection. See this? I broke this. Now I selected this guy here, and I need to do it add to connection, add to existing, add to the second. Right? I hope it helped. I created new connection and I added it to the new connection. Okay, cool. No worries. Now what I'll do, I'll save that, right? Well, see that, so now if I do this, it's not gonna be, see, if I do this, they're disconnected now, right? But to reconnect them again, I can undo, or I can also do this. I can click here and I can select this. I can go add to group, add to the first group. Again, do add to group and add to the first group. See, that's it, right? So you can control the connections, you can break the connection. However, for the visualizations to be connected, they need to use the same data source. Does the dashboard have to use the same data source? No. You can use multiple data sources in the same dashboard. But in order for the visualizations to be linked, they have to be from the same data source. Okay, make sense? Well, so that's that piece here. Data visualizations are linked. We talked about that. Now, one thing that it did not happen is this. There are no transitions, right? So what you do is you see a bunch of tabs, right? So for you, let's do the different closes. And I prepared another dashboard for the purpose of the next demo. So I'm going to go to the my content, and it's not this one, but it's not this. Well, I'm going to find it. See, sometimes if I'm unable to find it, this is what I can do. I want to see only dashboard, right? And I can select the dashboard that I'm interested in. But this one, claims and weather dashboard. Well, see, this is a dashboard that I prepared. See, it has 5 tabs. I intentionally left the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I intentionally left it, and I'll show you why. But see, well, this one is a title page. I just called this. All right, so that's a picture. Second tab. See this third tab, fourth tab, and fifth tab. Well, the problem is here, there is no animation. I have to physically click on the tab to navigate to the next one, next tab. There is no, I cannot control and which time I want certain visualization on the tab to be visible, and which times I don't want them to be visible. No transitions, right? So this is going to take us to the new topic, and the topic is called the story. Our story is just the animated presentation with numerous visualization. It's a narrative, right? The dashboard, this dashboard is not shared, but I can, okay, if you want to, I can see what I can do to share it. I'll see what I can do to share if you want to, okay? But yes, I'll show you where examples are. But if you guys want to, I will see what I can do to, oops, I will see what I can do to share. Oops, what did I do? I just did something that I did not want to do. I just did something. Did I unshare my screen? Share screen. Sorry, guys. Yes. Okay, cool. Now it works. Sorry, guys. So, okay. I'll go ahead and share it, no problem. I'll see what I can do, okay? Now, what is a story? Story is similar to PowerPoint animated presentation. User is going to present insights, right? So basically, you do not export visualizations from the application. You just produce a presentation, okay? You may add images, shapes, and etc., right? And you need to specify the transition style. Like if you want it to be the slideshow or if you want it to be the guided journey, right? So the differences here are slideshow is like each scene uses different canvas, and a guided journey, all scenes are going to use the same canvas. But we're going to do a little cheating, and you're going to cheat a little bit for the assignment, and I'll show you how. You're not going to create the dashboard from scratch. Well, for sure, no. But what you will do is this. You will save, you will export your dashboard as a story. Well, so you saw it, right? I've got 5 tabs in here, right? 5 tabs, title page, and etc. Now what we're going to do is, well, I'm going to save it as a story, right? Instead of creating a story from scratch page, from scratch, okay? Now, what I need to do is I need to make sure that this dashboard is completely done, because any change that I'm going to make it here afterwards is not going to apply to the story. So what I'll do is this. Look at this. I click here and I'm going to do save as a story. At the moment, let's just do the slideshow. I'm going to do select. Now I need to select where I want to save it. And I want to save it where? In my content, right? And I want to open story after the saving. What it does here, it's gonna prefix the story, the dashboard name with the word story, right? So that's how it does. You can rename it, you can change name if you want to. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna click on save. What's gonna happen right now? Well, every tab is gonna become a story scene. See, I click, see this is a scene, right? I click here, this shows me the scenes. I have 5 scenes. See this? Do you see this little title? This used to be the what? The tab, right? It's a tab. If I go back to my dashboard, each scene here is the tab in my dashboard, right? So see, now, see this, if I preview it, if I preview the whole thing, well, I have to do this. First of all, I want to say play all scenes, right? I need to go back to the first scene, right? And then I need to click play. First of all, it's important to make sure, am I edit mode or am I preview mode? This is a preview mode. And I click on this. By default, the duration of each scene is 5 seconds. So see, it's just doing, I did not specify anything yet. It's just gonna show each scene for 5 seconds, but we're gonna fix something right now. Okay? Well, what are we gonna do? Well, first of all, before we do the teasers, there is an edit mode and a view mode, right? So I'm gonna go to the edit mode right now. Okay? Well, what I could do is, in general, I can define filters that apply to all scenes and the same scenes. This is similar to what we did with the dashboards, right? I've got pins. I can add new visualizations from pins. I can add new visualizations from just visualizations library, right? I've got my data set here. See this is my data set. And of course, you see all those filters that you defined, all the calculations, all the data groups, they're available here. Anything that you define in data module will be available in here as well, right? And you've got your pins, same pins are visible here. Assistant, right? It's visible here. See, and also notice that it shows your past searches in this session. See, it shows your past searches in this session. It does not matter that you look at different file, right? Different. You still can see it. Now, we talked. I mentioned that it's totally different from dashboard. How? Well, see this. This is a scene. I selected the scene, and I can view the scene timeline. This is a timeline. This scene has how many objects? 4, right? So let's do this. Let's minimize this just to make it to see this better. So see here, it shows when the visibility starts, and this edge shows when the visibility ends, 5 seconds. Suppose that I want my first visualization to start at 2 seconds. What I need to do is I take this edge and I drag it to here. See? So now it's not visible, but if I play it, it's gonna show after 2 seconds. See? Now suppose that I want the second visualization to hide after 4 seconds. I do this. Suppose that I want the last two visualizations show for more than 5 seconds, right? I want to increase the scene duration. I'm gonna just drag this, right? And this is how I increase the scene duration. I just drag this bar, see? Like I want it to be 6 seconds. I'll just drag this here, and it's gonna show for 6 seconds. Well, when I preview this, right, I'm previewing, see? Right, I click to preview again, see? Now it's gonna disappear, the top one disappeared, and the bottom one showed, okay? Well, this is just the duration, but, well, there are a lot of similarities. I can select this visualization and go to the focus mode, see this, copying this, etc. I can, if I want to, I can add another scene. I'm not limited, right? I can add a new scene. Well, and when I did this, I could select template and I could add new visualizations from scratch if I wanted to do that. I don't like this, I can undo, well, etc., right? Important thing to remember is that do not delete the data source, because then everything here will be invalid. There is no way to fix it. Okay? All right, so, well, then I can take this again. Well, actually, I want it in the edit mode because there are some properties I want to show you. Well, see this? Right now it's a slideshow, and I can do the sweep transition, right? I change the transition, save it. I'm gonna go back to the preview mode and go back to the, I want to go back to the first thing, right? Well, I want to go back to the very first one. This is the first one. See this right now, I'm playing it. Take a look at what's gonna happen to transition. After 5 seconds, see this? I specify how I want the transition to be, see? And it's using the same canvas. For this type of story, it's gonna use the same canvas. But there is a different type of story called guided journey. So what I need to do is I need to, oops, no, not this. I need to go back to this here. I'm going back to the edit mode. I'm going back to the properties. Properties, come on. Oh, no, properties. Well, sometimes it's gonna do this. Sometimes I need to be a little bit patient. Is it in the edit mode? Yes, it is, right? Properties, there we go. Now what I can do, I can change to guided journey and I can do select the, I like this one. Well, this is a guided journey. What is the difference here? It's gonna use the different canvas for each scene. And in the very beginning, I can see, this is an overview. I see all of them, right? I see all of my scenes. Well, what you're gonna do, you need to submit something, right? You need to submit a proof that you created a story. I recommend selecting this guided journey. Here, well, see this here? On the first one, here, you see all of these things. I would just do this, close this. See this? I would just zoom in a little bit, and I would take a picture of this. I would take a screenshot of this and add this to my paper. If I was doing it, right? So again, see this? Those are the things. I selected the guided journey, right? This one here. See this? You just take a picture, take a screenshot of this. And this is what you do to submit. Well, you need to submit something. You have to prove that you created a story. How are you going to do this? This is a screenshot here. This is one way. Well, everyone is differently, but this is what I would have done it in my paper, okay? And this one, you can just go and play it, right? You can do play. Well, see the difference? It's like it's a different canvas. It's basically, it's like slide. Well, I have to select, well, it's play all scenes, but the problem is here, it was in edit mode. I need to be in a view mode, right? If I want to play all of them. See, now it's gonna go to the second one. Do you see the animation? Do you see the changes? Do you see? Do you see this? Well, in this one, I did not specify anything for the rest of this. Okay? Well, I can let you have this. I can let you have the dashboard if you'd like. Well, I will see what I can do, okay? There we go. So, because, well, there is a folder called data for demos, right? So I'll try to put it in there. Okay, so here we go. Sure, no worries, I'll try. Okay, so next thing is, let's see if I covered it. We talked about different transition types, right? We talked about the timelines, slideshows, right? Slideshow, those are just the interface. We talked about the timelines. I'm just using different pictures here. And this is how to export dashboard to the story, right? I showed you that. But another way you can create the story is, this is a long way. Go here, select new, story, right? I want a slideshow. Then you have to select the data, select the data source, and you want it in your content. That's claims and weather data module. You're gonna do add. You're gonna add all of the visualizations, etc. Well, I'll close it. Forget about it. That's a long way, right? You're gonna do is, what you're gonna do is just create a dashboard and then export dashboard as a story, add the transitions and add the timelines, right? And discuss it a little bit, okay? You need to discuss it in your paper. Answer the questions. But, well, I answered a lot of your questions today. Well, the only thing I did not do is this. I did not say, here is your answer to question 1. Here is your answer to question 2. I did not do this, right? I did not label the answers with question numbers. But I tried to cover as much as I can, okay? Now, well, this is just shows the correspondence where each tab in the dashboard is going to be a scene in the story, right? Well, there are some samples that are created for you already. Let's close this. So when I told you that you have a read-only permission on a team content folder, I lied, because in reality you have a run permission. Run permission is, it does not let you make changes, but it lets you play dashboards, play sample dashboards. So see here, I go to the samples. In the samples, I have some dashboards. This is not something that you will turn in for grading, but this is something that you can look, right? You can check. But if you want to play around with this, you would need to save a copy to your content, right? You won't be able to save changes here because this is in a team content area, right? It's not your designated folder for assignment 5, let's say, right? But you can preview, right? I'm just gonna close this for right now. Well, I showed you where samples are, right? Well, see this? Well, those are the samples, and you have stories. Ignore reports because we're not doing reports, but you have like 3 sample stories, okay? Well, next thing is gonna be a little bit fun for assignment 5. So, assignment 5 is, see this? This is a data for assignment, right? In the walkthrough data, I'm gonna try to add the story, okay? I'll try, but I'll have to do something extra to do that. I'll figure out, okay? Because in theory, well, the demo user that I'm using right now, it has the same permissions that you do. I cannot go ahead and explicitly save it here, but I know what I can do. I'll take care of it. Okay? Now, well, do you see this in this? here, data for assignment 3 and 4, it means that assignment 4, you use the same data that you use for 3. There is another folder called assignment 5. You've got five options for the data set, okay? If you want to go for a challenge, if you want to go for real challenge, this data set here is to predict the college graduation rate. This one is to predict life expectancy data. Both of these have missing values, okay? Earthquake is a earthquake magnitude. Prediction cars, well, you have some options in here. Mainly, the idea is to predict the car efficiency, but you can do car efficiency on a city road, or you can do car efficiency on a highway, or you can do the car horsepower. And this one, I believe the net worth, you want to predict the individual net worth, something like that. Well, so say you have 5 data sets, descriptions are in a classroom. As a team, you're going to be placed in teams. As a team, you want to select data. What else you want to do is you want to you want to select the leader. So you're going to be placed in groups. Assignment 5 is a group work. Somewhere at the end of week 9, your instructor is going to put you in groups, and I will be notified. I'm going to create group folders in Cognos for you. So what you're gonna do? See, look, the file in my content area is not visible to your teammates, right? I have to do something. I will have to do something for you to collaborate, right? Well, what you're gonna see is this. In the team content, you're gonna see this assignment 5 group work. You don't see it at the moment because you have not been assigned to the group yet, right? But for me, let's assume I'm taking session 9080, right? And that I'm a member of group 1. And your session name is in a classroom, right across the top. It's going to show you the session you're in, right? So I'm right now, this is what I'm going to do. I click on assignment group work. Right now is fall 2023. So you're going to see the subfolder for your enrollment semester. This is going to be the session, which is in my case is 9080, and this is a team name. This is a team that I was assigned. So if I'm in team 1, I should not see the folder for team 2 or 3, right? I should only see the folder for team 1, and I should be able to save files in team 1, right? Well, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do this. You're gonna go to the leader, right? You're gonna select one person as a leader. One leader is gonna go to team content. You're gonna go to that assignment 5. Well, see this assignment 5 group work, and oops, sorry, not assignment 5 group work. You're gonna go to the data for assignments. In here, you're gonna go to the assignment 5. You're gonna choose data. For example, I want the cars. And you have to do the copy, and you're gonna make a copy to where, in this case, it's gonna be team content, and in the team content, it's gonna be assignment 5 group work, right? This is your folder, and you're gonna do copy to. Why not move to? Because move to deletes the file from original location, right? You cannot do deletions. You can only you can read stuff, you can but you cannot save anything into this folder. You can only save, you will be able to save things to your folder, the folder that I create for your group, right? So now I go back here, and let's see if I see it. So this is my group, right? I'm gonna go in here. This is my team, right? Now, as a group leader, what I also need to do is I need to create a data module. So, right, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not doing the work, but what I'm gonna do right now is this. I'm just gonna go here and I'm gonna save it, right? And I'm gonna save it as cars data module, right? Well, I'm saving it for the purpose to show you how to work in groups, and I have to save it in the team content. Well, notice that the save button is grayed out because I have to select the folder. I have to select the correct folder, right? Now it's not going to be grayed out because I have permission to write to my team, right? I'm just going to go click save. That's it, right? So I just saved it, right? Close it. I have to close it every time. When you're not working, when you're done working, close everything that you have opened because, well, two people cannot edit the file at the same time, right? I know it's a group work. I know you're going to be sharing, but you cannot, both of you cannot edit the file at the same time, right? Also see this? Now, for the purpose of this demonstration, there is another user called demo3 that was placed in the same group with demo2. So if I log out, right? So I'm demo2, I'm gonna sign out, and I'm gonna log in as my group mate, right? Let's see, I'm a group mate now, and I'll show you what's happened. But just trust me, I set it up, said two of these users belong to the same group. Well, what's gonna happen is this. Right now, I'm gonna go to team content. I also see this folder, and because we are in the same group, I see this too that my teammate did, right? Well, the thing is you cannot edit the file at the same time. You're gonna create problems. But you're gonna coordinate, right? You guys are smart, you know how to work together. You can use Zoom, you can use you have access to the Microsoft Teams as a student, right? So you know how to collaborate. So, or you're gonna be working perhaps on different files, right? Or something like that, different exploration workbook maybe. Well, but see, like now, but what's the point of having things open when you're logged out? Of course, no point, right? You don't want to hold the lock in a file. The next time you log in, you just reopen whatever your teammate did. So now what I'll do, right? Just to show you, I have this data modules that my teammate created, and I'm gonna just go create an exploration, right? Well, see this as you see it in the cars data, miles per gallon on a city road, that's one option. Or you can do the highway efficiency, and you can do the horsepower. Those are three choices, right? Well, but anyways, I'm just gonna click here, and I'm just gonna add the visualizations, right? I'm just gonna add one card. What I'll do right now is I want to save it. And I want to save it as cars exploration, right? So I'm gonna go in here, right? This is my team folder, and I'm gonna say car explorations, right? Cars exploration, right? I just saved that. I see what my teammate did, and it's a good habit. When I'm done, I'm just gonna close this out, right? Then, like, I can show you something else here. Well, if it goes as my preferences, right? Well, in here, I believe it's in personal and in advanced, and it's gonna show you. Well, see here, this as a group and roles, and it's gonna show you the groups that you are in. See this guy here is in this group. It's just a naming convention, okay? That's courses, data 610. That's a semester session. And for team, this is just the naming convention. So I know that, right? I was correctly placed in this group. It's everybody in data 610 that allows you access to this team content, in general, to the team content right here, this piece, right? Then another thing that was there is the another thing is just the roles. It's just a role, no worries about that. And this one, it just lets you log in, authenticated users. But this is one way to check that in fact you were added to the group, and this group has access to that folder for the group. See? Well, I'll set it up. Don't worry about the configuration, but what you need to worry about is this, that you can see your folder, right? And you can write to that folder. That's what you need to worry about. So, well, what I have now, I have these 3 files, right? I'm going to log out. I'm a demo 3. I'm going to log out. Now I'm going to go back as my initially, right? I was in the demo 2. And all of these have same permissions that you do, okay? I'm not using the admin account to do the demo. You have the same permissions, okay? With the exception with the group, right? Because I have not added you to the groups yet, okay? Well, see this now? Well, I'm gonna go back and I need to go to the team content. Again, I see this folder, and here we go, see? I see the files that my group mate edited. It's here, see? You're not gonna see the folder of your classmate, right? Because this is not the full class work. This is a group work. The instructor will put you in groups in a Leo, right? Or D2L, whatever it's called, learning system in a classroom. Then I'll use that to assign you to groups in Cognos, and each group is gonna have the folder, okay? So this is just for the demo. I assume that I'm in a team 1, right? And I added myself for right now. This will be all cleared. I just did it for the demonstration. I had to show you how to do it, right? So, well, this is just showing you how to do this, how to use this team folder, okay? And this is going to be current enrollment semester is the it's a fall 2023, right? This is just the steps to copy, Deletions cannot be undone. Well, the big issue is this. So in my content, well, see this, I have this data set. Well, this is the data that was uploaded, right? Well, then I have this data module. I use the data module to create the dashboard. If I delete this data, my data module will be invalid and all the visualizations will be invalid. Suppose that I somehow restore, well, not restore, but get it uploaded again, even with the same name. It's not going to work. Why? Because each data, secretly, each data has a unique number. Also, if I look, well, this one is in the properties here, somewhere. Well, see this? Well, do you see this? What is this? This is a unique number of this data module. And your dashboard or your data exploration is referencing this data module by this number. If I create another data module, it's going to have a different number, right? So there is no way to fix it. This is it. So this is one reason why we don't want you to be uploading the data, but because people would go, they would do some manipulation in Excel, upload it, then they're going to create a bunch of visualizations. Then they go, make changes in Excel, upload it again, bang, everything that they did, gone. And they had to do all over, and they never finished the assignment by due date. So then I said, no way, no more applying filters in Excel. Let's figure out how to do the stuff in Cognos. And then introduce data module, etc. So you do all of this data manipulation, data preparation in data module, right? Then see, each one has a different ID, and it's referencing this ID. See, so if you delete this, everything everywhere where you use it is going to become invalid. So be super careful, okay? And so watch out for deletions. It happened before. Somebody deleted something before their assignment due, but the student was smart. They took screenshots before they did the deletion, so low impact, right? Well, but still, okay? Well, this is just the troubleshooting. This happens sometimes when a file is removed. It does not get removed from recent. And if I try to open it from recent, if it does not exist anymore, this is the error that I'm gonna get. I wanted to make sure that you see this because, it's quite often. Well, this is just a bonus example. I created a video for it. Earlier, we were looking at the calculation. We were looking at the data group, right? You can do the binning, but you can also create custom binning where you use a case statement to write the code. I know that in this course, we are not writing code, but some of you, if you're interested, it's possible to write something more complex like this case statements, all right? Just to tell you. Oh, another thing that you will need to do is for the assignment 5, you will have to prepare the video, the presentation where you present your findings. To record the video, probably the best option is to use Zoom. You may create free Zoom account. Free Zoom accounts are limited to 40 minutes per session, but trust me, your presentation should be no longer than 15 minutes. And, well, this is what happens. I'm going to show you on my account. So those are the meetings, right? We started the meetings right now, and if you go to the Zoom, so there is a recording, right? So if you go to the Zoom, after the meeting is over, the recording is gonna show up here. Well, for example, see this? This was a session that I did session on chatbot that I did for Data 650. This is a recording. It shows up here. Then what you will do is you can click on share. When you click on share, you're gonna see this link. This is a link that you're gonna share with instructor, and you also want to share this passcode. All right, in your paper, you're gonna put this link here, and you're gonna put this passcode. All right. So you don't need to upload the video on YouTube. What you can do is you create a free account, right? Free the Zoom account. Then you use that Zoom account. You create a meeting with yourself, right? Invite yourself. It's gonna be then you do the recording. Share the screen. You do the recording. You decide how many people speak. You can do one person as a speaker or two people, etc. Then see. After a little bit of time, the recording will be available, and you need to share this link and a password, right? Password can be show height, and need to share it with instructor to submit, okay? Don't worry, it's not gonna be accessible to public. This is just gonna be sitting in one of your team members' Zoom account. Well, this is my UMGC account. There is no limit on 40 minutes, but for you, it's gonna be 40 minutes per session, but trust me, if your recording goes longer than 40 minutes, then, something is wrong. You want to focus specifically on a findings. You want to present what you found from the data. You probably want to play your story and talk as you play a new story, something like that, okay? And right now here it says practice and recording. That's for the current session, see? Whenever the session is finished, it's gonna take, well, because this session is more than an hour, right? It might take a couple hours to process, then I'll see it, all right? But I'm just showing you have an option. You can use Zoom, you can use Microsoft Team meetings. Well, it's your choice, all right? But I think the easiest way is probably to use Zoom to do this, okay? Now, it's your turn, guys. Any questions that you want to ask me? Go ahead. Please ask me now. Anything, like any concerns, anything. I'm usually good at listening. Usually. Anything that you've noticed, anything you wanted to comment on or something like that? I know it's a lot, but you know, you will have to watch, you will need to watch this more than once. And there are also some videos too that I would strongly recommend to watch, right? Because they answer a lot of questions, right? The big difference is that it does not tell you it does not tell you the question number. I did not label it. I don't say this is answer to question 1, this is answer to question 2. I did not put a question number next to the answer. And also it's using this data set, right? So the minimum number of transitions, that minimum number of tabs, that's a good question. It depends on presentation. I would say you would have a title tab, right? Then you would have, well, 5 is a good reason probably, right? Good number. Well, keep in mind that you have, it's a group, right? So it's not just you doing it alone, you're doing it with a teammate. It all depends on the topic, on how you approach, on how you approach the presentation, right? But sometimes I like to say less is more, but it doesn't mean that not to include the details, but you want it to be, well, what's the word for this? Concise? Well, you want to answer everything that you need to answer, go a little bit more in the depth of analysis, but at the same time, you want to stay on topic. You don't want to go off the topic, right? And for assignment 4, answering multiple questions about data and showing the insights. Oh, okay, well, if you look at this example, I'm answering multiple questions about my data. Oops, did I do that again? Did I stop sharing again? 1 second, let me share it. Share the screen. I clicked on something. Okay, I'm sharing again. Well, I need to go back to. See, it's very difficult when you share to go back to. Oh, here it is. Well, okay, I'm answering questions about mine. Well, how am I doing it? Let's see. Dashboard. Here it is. Wait, cars. This is in my content, and I'm going to the. I think it's this one, right? Claims and weather. Let's see. Nope, since this one. Close this out. Sorry, guys. And I'm going back to my content. Well, it's not this one, right? It's oops, car insurance dashboard. It's this one, probably. Let's see. Well, this one. Well, I'm answering my questions differently. See here, I'm answering what drives the total claim amount, right? What important factors determine the total claim amount? And I'm looking at the different rules, right? In here, this is one thing. In here, I'm looking at average claims data by location. This is the average. Oh, this is not average number of customers by location. So this is another question about my data, right? I want to see which location has the most customers, right? In here, I'm just looking at the percentage of claims by vehicle class, percentage of claim by state. See which state has the most claims, something like that. To see, I'm answering the questions. Claims by education. So I want to see where my most of the claims fall under, right? So see this is the policy type. Most of the claims. This is the dominant policy type, right? Those are the different questions. See this is average total claim amount, and I want to see that by collision. Oops, not by collision, by claim reason. Sorry. So I have claim reason is collision, hail, right, and other, well, etc. See, remember what I did when it was unknown, right? When there was a missing value, I put it as other. Why? Because I did not want it to show as missing here. I want to see the label here, right? I want to see something called other here. See that? I looked at those are my different questions here. Maybe my question is in which state In which state do I have the most customers? In which state do I have most of the claims, right? Or something like, what is the average claim amount for the four-door car? Something like that. Those are the questions too, right? So here, this is just claims. This is just not number of claims distribution. And on this slide here, on this tab, I'm doing it by the state. I'm looking at the vehicle class. Sometimes you want to see what the data is, right? What are you dealing with? And you've got the rules. See average total claim amount. Well, somewhere. Oh, this one is a model. I'm looking at what drives it, right? And I can also look at the rules, right? Remember? Well, this is, oh, in here, in the trees, there should be an option, right? If I look at this in the focus mode, I should be able to. But what I'm saying is that, see, this is the answer. You look at the visualization answers the questions, right? Or I want to see which location has the highest average claim amount, well, things like that, right? I can look it up. All right, so those are the questions. And in your data, you're probably going to have a different questions depending on what data is, what did you explore, what did you do last time. You probably did the decision tree, right? So you can reuse that. Then you can, well, it depends on the data, as I said. Like in this specific data, you can look at perhaps average total claims by location. There's a lot of you can do, right? Another thing that you will help is, it will help you is that if you go to the, remember in exploration, where you were given the suggested visualization, that should help a lot too. I hope I answered the question. Does it help? Does it help? Let me know. Okay, excellent. I'm glad I could help. But yes, I'll see what I can do to share this, because, well, I know how to do it. Okay, I'll try. I'm gonna give it my best try. All right. So, well, I don't want to make changes. I'll just close it out as is. Any other questions, guys? Well, I want to see questions because, you know, the plus side of attending this session is opportunity to ask questions, right? Anything I can help you with? No? Going once? Going twice? Well, if there are no questions, then we're gonna call it, oh, let me see. Oh, okay, you can think of questions later. I'm sure this is typical when you start working on it. Yes, of course, you're gonna have questions. But if there are no questions at this point, well, okay, cool, excellent. Then if there are no questions at this point, then I'm gonna call it a night, and you're gonna look forward to recording, right? And also the sample, sure. So I'm gonna go and stop the recording. There we go.